All right. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tech Confab podcast once again. My name is Joe Budu, and I'm going to be the host for the show today, as always. And it's going to be a really insightful one today. The topic is the future of work. And I have with me Godfred Afful. He's a senior backend engineer at Finance Mobile, and he's been in the digital payment space for a number over 6 years now. And we're going to talk on the future of money. And as you already know, on this show, we talk about trending topics in technology, innovation, artificial intelligence, and more. And most importantly, to also interact with you to get your comments, your questions, your insights also into the topic for today. So if you're on the stream right now, kindly share the link with your friends. You can share the link. I'm streaming live right now on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope as well. The handle is Tech Confab, and on YouTube is your Budu. So you can just share the link, the YouTube link, with your friends on WhatsApp or wherever you'd want to share it. If you're watching on Facebook, just click on the share button to share with your network as well. If you're on Twitter, you can share, you can retweet the Periscope link so that all your friends can join in and watch today. You can share on your WhatsApp status as well. We'll be starting the discussion really, really soon. Also, I want to see who is watching the stream today. So if you're watching live, just let me know in the comment section below your name and where you're viewing from. I can already see William, my brother William is watching. Thanks for joining. Esther Noy as well. Samuel Finn, Natasha. Thanks everyone for joining in the stream. Um, just keep on sharing the link with your friends and your family. Today is going to be a very insightful topic that I'm sure a lot of us are interested in, the future of money. Um, and we know that technology is revolutionizing the the way money and payments work, and there are now a myriad of ways or different ways to make payments with innovations like contactless cards, mobile money payments, digital currencies like cryptocurrencies, and more. And these are just a few of the things that we'll be talking about today. So just stay tuned, and my guest is on the line. He'll be joining us shortly. All right, uh, Uncle Frigi, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Joe Budu. Thank
Yeah,
you for having me.
it's been a while, bro. How has it been? With work, family, and everything. How's everything with you?
It's not changed much. We are in it. Yeah, yeah, and it's we are still doing stuff we used to do like before. Not much has changed. Yeah.
All right, all right, wonderful. So, Godfred, I gave a little intro at the beginning, but I want you to tell us more about yourself. You like where you've been working for the past, 10 years, and what your experiences have been. So if you could just tell us what your experience is as a, backend engineer and also Android developer, senior Android developer as well. So if you could just tell us what you've been up to for the past 10 years in the tech industry.
Okay. So I think I began my journey professionally around 2013. So that
Okay.
makes it 6 to 7 years.
Maybe you
For
can
the
start from university level, then we take off.
all right, okay. So university level, that means my first major coding experience was that means we are taking us back to like 2011,
Cool.
right? Yeah. So at that time, I think Android was still a bit fresh. The the craze for the time was still the .NET guys and all these management systems, right?
All right.
So yeah, so moving away from there, I began with Android development. My first major product was okay. The first major product that I was involved in was Slide Pay, right? Which is like a mobile money solution, sort of, right? It's a digital banking system. Okay, so I was involved in Slide Pay plus Billbox. Billbox was also one of our internal products back at my first company. We used it for usually the banks, that's enterprises. So that was also a financial solution, right? It took care of transactions, large volumes of transactions, monies being exchanged here and there, right? So there was Slide Pay, then there was Billbox, and I was in both teams for throughout from 2013 throughout to about just about last year, right? Then I moved a bit around till I found myself in a Finance Mobile. Finance Mobile is also an EcoBank FinTech fellow, right? That
Nice.
means that I continue to work with money money systems, if I can put it that way, right? So at Finance Mobile, we provide um, digital solutions in the money space, including taxes, anything that has to do with money, not just payments, right? At Finance Mobile, there is a bit more of what is done with the money platform than the usual payments platforms you've already known. So yeah, that's about it. That means that for about 90% of my professional career, I've been working on financial systems. Joe, is that okay?
Yeah, that's cool, bro. That's cool. That's really interesting. And for those of us that do not know, SlidePay is a digital payments platform that's really big in Ghana and other African countries, I believe. Or Fiji, is it only in Ghana, or there are some other African countries?
No, no. There is Zimbabwe. There are other Eastern African countries which are on board as well.
Okay,
So yeah, it's not just Ghana.
great. Yeah, so SlidePay is a payments platform similar to ExpressPay and other payment platforms that you might know of. And so Frigi, that means that you help build some of EcoBank's mobile solutions, digital payment solution. And I realized in the past year or two, they have basically transformed their onboarding system. They've transformed their mobile application. They've transformed a whole lot of things. And I think they are doing really, really well in terms of, previously, I think my first bank account was with EcoBank, and I had to leave them because
Okay.
it was really difficult. They didn't have these modern solutions like internet banking and applications. You always would have to go to the banking hall to do your transactions and all that. Uh,
Mm,
yeah, I recall that was when that was probably 2011-ish when
okay.
I had an EcoBank account. I I believe your team or your company is part of that revolution, right?
So there are a number of departments inside EcoBank, right?
Okay.
Uh, Finance Mobile so far has been associated with the investment side of EcoBank and not
Okay.
the core banking platform. So the investment side of EcoBank is EDC, it's known as EDC, and that is where much of our work has been up until now.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So then,
Yeah.
so then, like, so that means that your company can help, create a, how exactly does it work? How do you help EcoBank create, investment profiles and whatnot?
All right. So okay, it looks like this. Am I advertising for EcoBank? But let me just continue. Um, So EcoBank, so now most banks have like an investment wing, right?
Yeah.
So EcoBank is no different. They also have theirs, and that is what is known as the EDC, right? They began with the manual process, like the manual way we know about creating accounts and investing and all that. Okay, where we come in is we've digitized it just like they did for their core banking platform. All right, so very soon, very soon in Ghana and in other African countries where EcoBank is operating, we'll begin to see the EDC Invest mobile app. Yeah, we'll be that's where we'll be able to invest. People will be able to buy, invest mutual funds. There are actually a number of stuff I would like to keep
Yeah,
keep it low
maybe,
for now.
yeah,
But yeah,
maybe you're not allowed to
it's not
talk about it out in the public. So
okay.
I believe it's not only EcoBank, but probably a number of banks that you guys are working with, right?
Yeah, so we have a range of products, right? I don't know if my boss will forgive me, but let me just mention. So we are doing something, right? I'm not sure if I can talk about it, but we are doing our products, right? Has to do with a field that involves everybody. It involves every business. Okay, I'm just being careful not to mention it. So
For sure.
the, yeah, sure. So the difference is what we've done so far was for EDC, which is under EcoBank, right? But what is coming next? It cuts across, just like mobile money cuts across,
Wow.
like everybody can use it. Yeah. So our next product is something uh, that meets. Yeah, that's for everyone, not just
All
EcoBank
right,
members.
nice, nice. So we'll start off with a discussion for today, and I
All
want
right.
us to start with looking at the insights, that you've gained working in the digital finance industry for the past, over 6 years. So, like, what transformation really have you seen in Ghana and in Africa in the way, humans transact with money? You know, I believe there has been a great change, with the introduction of mobile money systems, with the introduction of internet banking, that. How have you seen that transformation, within the past few years?
Well, yeah, it's excuse me, it's very, very interesting the impact of the mobile money space. For instance, there I'm giving them a special mention because they are kind of like the leaders when it comes to the revolution of money right
Yeah.
now. Money has evolved from like in so many stages, but in this phase, in this 21st century, when technology took over, the mobile money is one that has, let me say, it is the one that has really caught on, right? There has been the cashless, right? There has been ATMs. There have been other sections of the money ecosystem which technology has provided, right? But the one which I'm giving a special mention to right now is the mobile money.
For
Okay,
sure.
we'll talk about yeah, sure. We'll talk about the rest, but then just to put it across that it is significant what has been achieved so far, right? There's all the statistics are in favor of mobile money, right? So clearly, like you mentioned, remember, like just mentioned in 2011, you had to leave EcoBank because they didn't have all of these things, right? And now there are even bank accounts that you can open without having to go to the premise, right?
Yeah.
All these are these are great. These are awesome. These things cut time. These things open the way for us to advance, to move forward, right? So, in a nutshell, I'll say it's very significant what has been achieved so far,
Mm-hmm.
right? When technology took over, revolutionizing the money ecosystem, right? It's very significant. There's not one person who isn't involved in one way or the other when it comes to technology and money, right? You may have a mobile money account, even if you don't. You may have you may have interacted with your banking system digitally somehow, right? Probably gotten some SMS through your phone. There's just some elements of um, the work of technology and money in the life of every single individual at this point, if not everyone, like majority.
Yeah, yeah. I think one really key, when you mention, more money, it comes to mind, that we are actually banking the unbankable. There are millions of people in Africa who do not have bank accounts, and people living in the villages that there are literally no banks or places where they can save or transact their money. And so the mobile money coming in to empower people to be able to empower people to be able to receive, funds from other people all across the country, to be able to save, to be able to also transact business with other people using a digital platform so easy and simple to use as mobile money. I think it's really brilliant, and I think that in Africa, that's one unique feature or one unique product that has really penetrated all across Africa. Um, so I think it's really good, and that's one thing that differs from the rest of the world where they are using other technologies. Like contactless cards are really big here in the UK. In Asia, they are using a lot of NFC for payments and all that. But Africa is all about mobile money, and another reason for this, I believe, is because of the mobile telecommunication penetration rate, where I believe it's more than even 100% um, uh, mobile telecommunication network penetration rate. So I think the companies leveraging on this to be able to bank the unbankable is really inspirational and
Yeah,
revolutionary, if I should put it this way.
yeah, I think so. As I thought about this, right, I think one one key thing which has made it successful too is the fact that it means that we have a lot more people involved, right? So, like you just mentioned, okay, in the UK and in other places, right,
Hmm.
they are okay with contactless and other forms of payments, right? They they have systems which make it such that everybody is inclusive. That wasn't necessarily the case if it came to when it came to
Africa,
Africa, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the case. We don't have those systems which would we didn't have them and we still don't have them, right? Now, I don't know if it was intentional, however, they were able to leverage on the on the telecom, right? On the telecom being able to ride on telecom to bring mobile money payment. I don't know if it was a genius idea or it was just it just came out. But whichever
Stroke of
way it,
luck.
yeah, I don't know. But whichever way it was, I think it's worked. It's worked, and because phones present like the least barrier to entry, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got it now, and so it's like the smartest right now. Any other solution would be more expensive. Leveraging mobile phones has been like the key. It has been the key to the success of the mobile money in this space.
All right, great. So, Uncle Fiji, let's talk about the innovations that are being developed, right? We already know about, these contactless cards, NFC and all that. Do you believe, or what is your opinion of these technologies or innovations, about them being adopted here in Africa or here in probably Ghana or in any other African countries? Do you believe that they are eventually going to pick up pace and also be adopted? Because the contactless cards are more or less the next step of ATMs, right? And once we have the infrastructure and all that, we should be able to adopt some of these systems. So, first of all, do you believe that they will be adopted soon? And what are the advantages of these other, innovations when it comes to digital payments, specifically when it comes to contactless cards, NFC payments, and all that? Or we should just stick with our mobile money?
Yeah, so okay. Let me even start from your last statement, right?
Yeah,
We are talking about contactless, okay?
yeah,
Mobile money didn't come because we chose it. It came and then it stayed because it is a necessity. It solves a huge problem, right? That is how come it has been successful. Okay, so first of all, we have ventured into that space and it has been successful just because there is a need. Okay, there is a need for it. Right now, contactless, does it solve a problem? It does. Right, there is I don't know how technical I can get, but um, there are limitations when it comes to the current systems that we have right now. Okay, contactless makes it faster. Contactless
yeah.
is more secure. Contactless it doesn't store much information on the magnetic cards that we have currently, right?
Okay.
So contactless solves a problem. Now, having said these two things, um, I'll move on to, so are we going to get there soon? Whether we are going to get there at all, whether we are going to, how fast we are going to get there. Sure, I believe very well that we are going to get there. The problems which we are currently facing with magnetic, right? The inconveniences that we are currently facing with our systems, okay? Contactless will solve them. As and when somebody, right? Let me use the case of MTN and mobile money, right? As and when somebody, right, like another telco or some other agency comes up with a solution that works, that makes contactless the thing is easy to use and all that, where we begin to now appreciate the importance of contactless, it will quickly rise. Momo, MTN mobile money or mobile money has been in Ghana for just about 10 years or so, and it's got a wide reach right now because it's needful. Will contactless be able to do the same? Maybe not, but certainly as many people who are facing the issues that our current systems um, produce, our current
Are
systems
facing.
are facing, yeah, the contactless will catch up. It may not necessarily be a need, okay? It may not necessarily get to the hands of those in the rural areas and other unbanked population as such, right? But it will still have its place and it will be fully appreciated in due time, okay? Just because it solves a problem. And there will come a time where we'll realize that we can't but have it.
All right. Yeah, just for context, for those of us that don't know, the contactless cards, it's a technology that is adapted to an ATM card, right? And the way it works is that instead of having to insert the card into a machine, a POS machine, a point of sale machine, right? And entering your PIN with the contactless cards, you can just basically tap it on the POS and then it will instantly charge the required amount. So here in the UK and in Europe and other countries, basically, if you can go to the shopping center, shop for your items. When you're done, you just tap your card and you're off. If you enter a train, a bus, you just tap with a contactless and you enter and then you get off when you're done. So it's speeds up all these systems, the transport systems, the um, shopping systems as well. And I believe it's because they have these systems and they needed a solution to be able to make these systems very efficient. That's how come I believe they developed some of these technologies like the contactless cards. And in Asia, they are using more of the NFC payments where on your phone or on your smartwatch or your wristband, there's a certain digital code that is embedded, and once you tap it on a certain receiver, it's able to perform the transaction instantly. And I believe these solutions came up because of probably the peculiarities when it comes to the infrastructure and the systems that are in place in those countries. So what I think is that in Africa, when the time comes or when the need arises for us to evolve our systems to adapt to the way we want to work and for us to be more efficient, then we would also adopt similar or same technologies also here in Ghana or in Africa.
Yeah, sure, sure. I wanted to add something. So
Okay.
with with the contactless, right? As opposed to the current cards that we have, the ATMs and stuff, right? It's more static, okay? That means we are very much limited in what we can do, okay? And much
Mhm.
information is embedded in the card itself, right? Now, the contactless eliminates all that, okay? Besides the speed and the convenience,
Yeah.
it actually provides more security. Now, as Ghana and as a use case, okay, and other African countries adapt digital payments more and more, right? We'll eventually realize the need for even quicker means of making payments, right? We'll eventually realize the need for securing our systems, right, better than they are now. We'll eventually realize all these other things that the likes of Europe and the rest have experienced in the past, for which reason they have moved on to contactless. Okay, so it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter
Yeah.
of time. Yeah, and we'll be riding in the same boats. We'll be doing the same things as we have been doing.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So just another point to mention. That when you mention security, the first thing that will come to mind in terms of the contactless cards is, what if your card gets stolen? But there currently there's a limit on it. I believe now it was increased during when Corona came around. They increased it to about £40 or so. So you can't use the contactless for huge or bulk payments, or it's usually for very quick transactions that you like with a low amount, a limited amount of transactions, not for like sending money to a friend or sending money to a relative and you use the contactless. No, for that one you would have to input your PIN to be able to perform that transaction. Yeah, so guys watching, so you can feel free to send in your questions. We are streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Periscope. The topic for today is the future of money, and my guest for today is Godfred Afful. He is currently the senior backend engineer at Finance Mobile, and formerly working at Dream Oval or Slide Pay as a senior Android developer. So, guys, if you have any questions about anything that we've discussed so far, you have any question about the future of work, we still have a couple of topics more to discuss. But if you have any questions so far, feel free to drop it in the comment section below, and then we would handle it. Wherever you're watching me on, you can just drop in the comments in the comment section, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Periscope, you're on YouTube, just drop the comments in the comment section, and then we would answer the question. Okay, so we have one question over here. This is from William. So he's asking, he says, Godfred, what is your take on AR, that is augmented reality, and then virtual reality integration as well, generally, and then with respect to our African setting? William, I don't know whether it's in relation to money. But then, yeah, Godfred, that's the question. What is your
Okay,
take on that?
so should I take it in the context of our topic, money,
Yeah,
or
take it in the context of the topic for today.
all right? First thing is we we haven't. When I say we, there hasn't been much done with AR and VR in other sectors of life, right? Let me just say that the ones who have been able to make the most out of it are, let's say, game developers, right? And
Yeah,
then search engines like the huge multinationals like corporations, Facebook, and the stuff. They are the ones who have actually capitalized on these two technologies, right? Um, Probably there isn't much yet when it comes to money as it stands now, right? Probably there isn't much because first thing is usually we technologies, okay, or these solutions they come up, these products come up, and they catch on because they solve a problem, right? Other than that, they pretty much stay where they are,
yeah,
okay, until they find a niche where they will be their services will be best needed. Okay, so probably we haven't seen much in money in regards to money because it is not our focus yet. And mind you, money is hard earned. Okay, so
yeah,
um, surely we are going to be very careful what we do with our money. Already there is a lot of considerations when it comes to digitizing money, right? Already there's a lot of scare about security. There's always come like in our case in Ghana, for instance, MTN is constantly sending messages on how to avoid fraudsters and stuff. Okay, case in point, we we don't go a certain route, okay, as a people just because there is something new. We go there because we need it. And even when we need it, we make sure that it is secure, it is safe to use before we jump on it. As at now, there's not much that I even know about AR and VR when it comes to the money space. Okay, and I think it's probably because of the nature of money, what we use it for, what we need it for. Usually, when it comes to money, we are looking at convenience, the speed of payment. When it comes to money, we want to know um, are we managing our money well, right? It, how much are we spending? How best can we spend it? How can we make transactions that cost lesser? How can we make sure that our money is safe without having to carry loads of papers in our pockets
yeah,
and stuff? Those are the considerations when it comes to money. Okay, so unless AR and VR will be able to help in any of these things, I doubt we will see much of it when it comes to that.
yeah, yeah, certainly. Um, I think if there are any applications of AR and VR when it comes to digital payments, it's probably going to be in terms of the user interface or how the digital system interacts with the user. And I don't believe they're actually critical at this point, but probably something fancy. Maybe if you can use VR for maybe viewing your bank statements on your wall or something. But
Yeah, exactly. So no, that's the point. It's money. It's money. Every day we wake up, and majority of the time in the day we are going to work for money. So it's not something we are going to play with at
exactly.
all. Okay, yeah, it's not something. So unless is that is at that place where we need it, we are not going to play with it at all.
All right. So we have a comment just came in. So Hans Peter is saying that first of all, I think we are not developing AR and VR because we don't have a good track of how we spend money. There is very, I believe, little trace with how Africans spend money. So I believe he's bringing up a point of the other important things I believe when it comes to digital payments or digital finance that we really need to handle or tackle before looking at something like AR or VR when it comes to this
Yeah.
particular area. Um, yeah, but I do believe that it's all part of the fourth industrial revolution where internet speeds are going to transform the way we live and work. With the introduction of 5G, it's just going to totally um, break all the boundaries when it comes to what's possible and what's not possible. So then, people will be free to explore and develop, various solutions. So who knows what's innovative concept someone's going to come up with in the next 5 years. So,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
all right. So, Godfred, next point that I would want to look at what do you think the future holds in terms of monetary systems? And you can look at cryptocurrency as a use case and its adoption. One huge advantage that I see about cryptocurrency and that other other experts also see is the fact that it can be used globally for global transactions and without governmental or legal restrictions. So let's say I have a company I'm operating in UK and I want to set up a branch in Zimbabwe, right? I, I
Mm-hmm.
I would have to, like, as it stands now, I would have to now adapt a whole system to adapt to the monetary system in that particular country. You get what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
extremely difficult to move funds from one place to another, and so many disadvantages with the traditional fiat currencies. So what do you believe the future holds for us in terms of monetary systems? Not only limited to cryptocurrency, but that you could mention other innovations that you believe would be coming up in the future that would revolutionize the way we transact as humans, the way we make payments, the way we save. What do you think of this?
Okay. So first thing I would say is we have come far when it comes to money. If you ask me, okay, I think most of us, everybody will know that we haven't had money from the very beginning. Okay, there was the barter system and all that, right? And there's been a lot of revolutions until now. We have, as in paper monies, coins, right? We have digital payments, and now we have virtual currencies, right?
Yeah,
So certainly, in that regard, I would say that well, the future it's going to be interesting. Well, we are not too sure what is going to be yet, but whatever is the case, one thing I can be sure of is that it's very likely it's not going to be the same as we know it today, right? Now, just a few years back, right, 5, 10 years back, it's very common to see people with loads of money in their hands and in their pockets. Now it's reduced drastically because all you need really is a phone, okay, and
yeah,
you can still do your transactions, right? With the advent of contactless and stuff, we are still in the same direction. With the coming in of cryptocurrency, now we have the discussion has broadened, okay, because now cryptocurrency brings in much more dynamics into the situation. Now we are talking about not a central government issuing money. We are talking
yeah.
about a crowdsourced sort of kind of
A decentralized system.
a decentralized system, right? So certainly it's going to get interesting. It's going to change, right? Perhaps we should get ready for it. It will be good if we know about it now and see how best we can use it. But another thing I would also like to touch on is that it's not going to be bad. It's going to only get better. It's only get better because we have only come this far as a result of issues we faced in the past, right? And people have
Yeah,
committed time and effort and monies into getting to where we are right now. And there is much more coming up as the years go by, right? So
yeah.
certainly it's going to get interesting. Well, we are not sure what it will be called in the near future, but it's definitely not going to be the same as it has always been. Okay. I would also like to talk a bit about cryptocurrency. Okay.
Yeah.
I've done a bit of work in that space, right? Blockchain and stuff.
Nice.
First, I had to read about it, and then I tried implementing one myself. So I think there are challenges. There are always challenges. Well, if there were no challenges, I think probably life is okay. So please, no one should take me on that. But the point here
No,
is,
it's obvious there are challenges. Everyone
yeah,
knows challenges.
exactly. So that's not the point. That's not going to be the reason why we are going to ditch cryptocurrency. I think, right, cryptocurrency has its place. It has its place, probably not as the mainstream means of payment and digital money exchange and stuff, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
has its place. Okay, so some of them I can remember right now, which made the most sense to me for cryptocurrency was in openness, right? Or let's say
Transparency.
visibility, transparency.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one way in which cryptocurrency made sense to me the most. Okay, so we now begin to look at where are the where are the places that we need visibility, where are the places that we need transparency. Okay, we can now bring it down to governments. We can now bring it down to NGOs, right?
Yeah.
We can now bring it down to associations, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Okay, so that's one. Okay, and that's even looking at it in terms of money, right? Because money is like, yeah, it is like corruption. It's an issue everywhere. Okay, so I think one way we can actually leverage on what Bitcoin and the likes of other cryptocurrency provide is where we are able to um, manage it properly such that we know at any point in time how much money is being moved from where to who, the hands is exchanged and all that. Okay, so that's one way. I think probably it's not caught on that much because of many other things, right? We never know the full truth, but uh, I think that's one way it can be used very well when it comes to money. When we talk about cryptocurrency, well, the other use cases, okay, we can use the whole blockchain concept for other things. But when it comes to the cryptocurrency, the one of the key advantages that I see that we can get, okay, and therefore it will be very useful in society is in places where we need transparency. If we could adapt that, put policies in place, and um, begin to work towards it, we would we would cut down on corruption, for instance. We would cut down on much of these um, things that happen all the time.
Money laundering.
Money's getting lost. And, yeah, money laundering. There's so much we can do, right? There's just so much. Just with just the fact that cryptocurrency has that property, right? Just because it's coming from the blockchain line, that whole concept. Okay, that's one thing that I really think that we can leverage on when it comes to cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, when you talk of cryptocurrency, I mean, I'm imagining, imagine a world where, you could send money to anyone in the world. I'm here in the UK, you are there in Ghana. I could just at the tap of a button send you money and then you receive it, next to instantly. And if that system is able to be perfected and there are no issues, I think that the main setbacks that cryptocurrency has received is, first of all, the speed of the transaction. Bitcoin itself, has, it's improved though, but it had very terrible, confirmation times, as in the time that it takes for the transaction to be completed and for you to actually receive the funds. And I mean, that's just one issue. And I think that apart from that, regulations in various, governments also has been a huge setback. I think in Ghana, for example, it's not legal, right? And in a lot of other countries, they've faced a lot of legalization issues. I remember, I think some point last year, Facebook wanted to launch a cryptocurrency platform on Facebook. I think it was called Libra, and I think it failed because of legalization issues. Maybe they would want to continue it, later on. But then those are the issues that is currently being faced. But then I believe, or if those issues are, taken away, in the next couple of years, it should be, very promising in terms of, especially when it comes to, global transactions. Right now it takes some time before it takes some efforts before you're able to transfer money across borders. And so if cryptocurrency is able to go mainstream, then I believe that'll be one problem that we'll be solving, and that would also solve lots of problems that a lot of international businesses are facing right now all over the world. um all right, so I think we have a few more questions. So, guys, if you have any more questions, just don't be shy. Feel free to put them in the comment section below, and then we'll handle it. We'll answer your questions. It could be about anything. If you are not so sure about what cryptocurrency is, you can just ask whatever question you have. Just drop it in the comment section below. We're streaming live once again on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope as well, or Twitter. And my guest for today is Godfred Afful, and the topic is the future of money. Godfred is a senior backend engineer at Finance Mobile and formerly senior Android developer at Dreamover or SlidePay. All right, so we have one question here. So Frank Ribeiro is asking, where do you see blockchain implementations in e-money wallet solutions in Ghana? Do you see an opportunity to go there, and also do we have regulatory support for this technology? So that is Frank Ribeiro asking. I hope you got a question, Godfred.
Uh, I'll try. Yeah, you can leave it on. Let me see.
Okay.
Okay. So let me begin from behind. Whether we have regulatory support, not that I know of. Well, one thing I know is the VIP, at least in Ghana, right, is championing the agenda for technology, right?
Yeah.
So far, all the announcements we've heard with regards to digitization of our monies and all that, there's I haven't heard anything that has to do with blockchain, right? But as to the question just before that, okay, as to whether there is room for it when it comes to e-money, okay, surely, yes, there is. Like I mentioned about transparency, like Joel mentioned about the ease of sending money to anyone, anywhere. Okay, the truth is there are still issues that we face currently. We are only living with them. We are only accepting them just because there is no alternative. Okay, if I'm here, right, in my room right now, I want to be able to send money to somebody somewhere in Savannah region, somewhere. I should be able to do it easily. Okay. Now, the headache involved in getting it done as it is right now could deter me from doing the transaction in the first place. Okay, that's one
Okay.
problem. And there are many such situations like that, right? Where we decline transacting money, making payments and stuff like that, just because of the difficulties involved.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure that we've had messages from probably some of the telcos in the past that there will be this downtime from this time to that time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there are always issues like that. So yeah, it certainly has a place, right? It certainly has a place in the sense that it's quicker, right? It is it is more also secure because everybody can see everything that's going on inside the chain, right? Um, you we have to those are two stuff, right? Security, we've spoken about transparency, we've spoken about speed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Speed of
there
transactions.
is
Yeah.
speed of transaction. So Bitcoin has had its issues,
Yeah.
and then it's been made better, like Joel mentioned. Okay, so in response to that, there's been the Ethereum and the Litecoin
Yeah.
and the many other variants. Okay, they are all solving the same problem, as in they are all trying to make it better, right? Some have found different algorithms for agreeing on transaction blocks and stuff like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so those are advancements. We are only not using them currently, probably because of these problems which are existing. It hasn't become mainstream because there are still issues with confirming transactions and stuff like that, because of the nature of the current algorithms that we have in the popular cryptocurrencies that we know. Okay, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it has a place even in Ghana. It has a place everywhere across the world, because the truth is that it really has immense benefits, which hitherto hasn't been solved by the current state of money and how it's being used right now. Currently, there's the solution for the speed of payment. It hasn't been solved by the digital platform yet. Okay, right now, to be able to send very quickly, it means that probably the recipient has to have the same probably app, or has to be banking with the same bank, something like that. Okay, it's been reduced, but it's still not the best. There are better ways, there are more convenient forms, right? Certainly, cryptocurrency has a place there. We only haven't actualized it yet because of the problems that it is facing in itself. But with time, we'll certainly we'll get to a place where we can probably not having cryptocurrency as a mainstream, but then probably a mix of that with our mobile money. There's always something that can come out in the future. Okay, there's always something that can come out in the future, but as is, there isn't, because of the issues that pertains. But uh, I'm 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 positive that it's possible. With time, we'll be able to do away with some of these issues, and then we'll be able to um, take advantage of the benefits of cryptocurrency in our society.
Yeah, I mean, when you were talking about that topic, when the question came up, I was just thinking like, there should be a possibility, and I believe there are some people that are actually doing this. And so basically, the concept is to have cryptocurrency as the backbone for your payment system. So the it being the backbone means that it's cryptocurrency that's facilitating the transfer of funds from let's say one country to another, but then they convert it back to fiat to hand to the recipient. So that gives you a great advantage where you can have sort of like a money stream across countries, and then you just convert to in between fiat and cryptocurrency to to interface to the client. So by the way, if you don't know what fiat basically is the normal currency that we use, like US dollar, Ghana cedi, naira, pound. That is what we call fiat currency, and cryptocurrency is stuff like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and the rest. So I believe more people would begin to explore these sort of hybrid systems and using cryptocurrency to facilitate some of these transactions. And I think generally, the power of blockchain in general, not necessarily for payments, would also, emerge where I believe people, uh, there are projects that people are using the blockchain for record, like historical records, and just keeping like an unerasable database of information within that those blockchain systems. So I believe that the applications are really um, innumerable or unlimited. So I believe there'll be more and more, applications of these technologies as time goes on. All right, we have a
Yeah.
few more questions. Well, quite a number of questions. Um,
Yeah.
I hope we'll be able to treat all of them today. We've
Sure.
we've
Maybe
already, yeah, free to talk some more, right? We've already passed our 1 hour mark, but if you are free, we can still go for about 15 to 20 minutes and answer the questions.
sure, sure.
All right.
That's fine.
Cool. This is an interesting one. So, Bruce Sam AB is asking, are you guys planning on developing an app for crowdfunding for projects in Ghana like GoFundMe? Um, I don't know if he's asking me or you or everyone on
Uh,
the
I
stream.
also don't know. Um, maybe Joe, you should be able to tell what's you should be able to tell where this question is directed because I don't know how to answer him right now.
I don't know, but then I believe it's to he's asking the community. I believe are people thinking of developing an app for crowdfunding. Okay, I've not heard of anyone developing such a project, but I believe it's needful for us to have these type of projects or applications or products locally because right now in Africa or in Ghana, I don't know if there's others in Africa, but in Ghana, for example, there's none where if you'd want to, fund somebody's idea. I mean, we don't have anything like that similar to Kickstarter and the rest. We don't have. So that
Um,
that can be an idea for
Jo-
anyone who's watching, any developer watching, to pick it up as a project.
mm,
Yeah, Godfred, you were saying something.
yeah, I think I was going to mention that. So it's possible. There are lots of devs in Ghana right now, so it's possible a group can come up with it. I just want to mention Kofandi. Kofandi is
Okay.
sort of new. They are they are doing sort of the same thing. It's similar, but it's for the real estate side, right?
Okay.
So where a group of people put their monies together, right, and then
Yeah.
to build estates essentially. Okay, so to the guy's question, yeah, a few people have been able to, at least co-funding in this case, has realized it and is using it in a specialized area, which is in real estate. So as many as can see it, like you mentioned, as many as can see this opportunity,
Yeah.
well, they can take it up and apply it in other sectors as well.
Yeah. So the floor is open. So any developers, I know there are a number of developers that usually watch my stream. So that could be one project idea. You could even open
Yeah,
source it and then we would contribute as well. Or you could make it as a
yeah.
business, no problem. All right. This my colleague at Carbon, Ebon, is asking, why are contactless transactions, that is RFID, NFC, not fully embraced and so popular in Africa? And what are the hindrances in your opinion? So Ebon, works with me at a company called Carbon, formerly Pay Later, and we have various products, primarily loans, but also in terms of digital payments and utilities, etc., similar to SlidePay. So we in the industry, we always deliberate and brainstorm on some of these topics, and so that's the question. Why are these technologies not fully embraced? What is your opinion? Why is it that they are not fully embraced? And I believe I touched on it a little bit earlier on the stream, mentioning that the basically technology is there to solve a problem, if and contactless, RFID, NFC, all these things were brought about to solve a peculiar problem. And so those that are using it in full swing are solving a problem that is in their environment or in their society. So I believe that these things are not fully embraced because they are not effective in solving Africa's problem. And I believe it's mobile money that has come to solve it for now. But then, like I said earlier, we are talking about the future. So probably in the future when our infrastructure system has changed slightly, and then we now need, let's say, quicker or more efficient ways of making payment, then I believe we'll quickly start to adopt some of these technologies like the NFC, the RFID, etc. So I don't know if you want to add some more to that, Godfred.
I think it's basically the same thing. Actually, I don't even expect any company to invest into it right now because it's not a problem, just like you mentioned. Okay, the
Yeah,
problem was in reaching the unbanked, and mobile money has already done that, right? Probably, like you also mentioned, in the future, when now majority of the people are now banked, and then we
yeah,
realize that, oh, there is this other problem,
yeah,
right, that we need to solve. Then we will now begin to look out for the solutions which exist. Okay, so as it's because it's not even solving a problem, if any company should invest into it, it's most likely they may not do very well
yeah.
because yeah, it's not necessary.
All right. I think Esther is also asking a very similar question. Do you see Ghana completely becoming cashless? And if yes, how long do you think it will take for this transformation to happen? So, that's a question from Esther. What do you think? Can we give like an estimate? Like, where do you see, in terms of timelines? Well, I mean, how many years do you see Ghana becoming, if not completely cashless, but let's say a vast majority or a large majority being cashless? And how long do you think that transformation will take to happen?
So let me mention the case of some Eastern African countries, right?
Yeah,
The guys who have been using M-Pesa and the stuff, right? They've not been using it for that long. Okay, I think just about how do we call it? If Ghana is 10 years, so let's say just about 5 to 10 years before Ghana also started using mobile money.
yeah,
And right now, in those countries, they are almost cashless. You could go to the country, stay there for like a month, and not come into contact with physical cash. So it's not too far from here.
from us.
I
Yeah,
think yes, it's not too far from us at all. If anything at all, the infrastructure is there. Probably it will be left to the people, right? It will be left to our policies, right? Now, governments and other institutions have embraced it so much, so it's not going to be the problem. I think the problem, if there's going to be a problem, is most likely going to come from um, the people. Probably, let me say, in about 5 to 10 years. Right now, we are heavily um, captured when it comes to the digital banking space, right? Digital mobile money is doing much better than the banks, okay, in terms of transactions. So you can tell that certainly there's a very large percentage of Ghana already covered, okay. So now it will now become an issue of what do we mean by cashless, as in to what extent? Because as is, we are to a large extent cashless, right? At least in sending money, okay. But when it comes to payments, um, probably that is where there is a bit of a journey, okay. And that can also change. That can also change because day in day out. Let me mention this one. So earlier this year, the vice president spoke about they launched, I think, in conjunction with GHIPSS and some other institutions, this universal QR. I don't know if you heard about it, right?
mm-hmm.
And the main idea is that you have sort of like a QR code. Everybody has a QR code, and it's universally accepted. It is known everywhere in the country. You don't need um, to register with a particular bank or anything like that. That is also one step towards that. That means this goes a long way to tell us that at the top level, much has been done. Okay, now what is left is the adoption rates down here. If it becomes a necessity, that's one thing I've seen, at least in Ghana. We only move it to a thing we only move along a particular path when we see that it's a necessity. When we are okay with where we are, we probably will not go there. So I won't say it's too far from us, because the Eastern African countries, like I mentioned, are already there, and there are people just like us, right? With the direction that we are going, those are the top already making um, provisions for us to get into this position. It means that we can get there much sooner than we would think, right? So, not to mention any years, we are already on the track. If you ask me, we are already there, and there are, and like I mentioned, okay, like at Finance Mobile, for instance, we are we are now going beyond just payments. Up until now in Ghana, most of the digital transformation has been for payments, but
Okay.
money is not just about payments. Okay,
Yeah.
money there's having insight into money, right? There is reading into the future. There is investments, all right? There is there's a lot. Okay, so
Yeah.
and there are companies and other solutions which are coming up in that direction. So certainly at the top, people have seen the light and are moving forward. With the people catching up, that one could take a shorter time or a longer time. But certainly once there is some movement at the top, it is very likely that everybody else will follow suit soon. Yeah.
Right. Um, Thanks so much, Godfred. I believe we are coming. Sadly, we are coming to the end of today's stream. Thanks everyone for joining. If I haven't seen your comments in the comment section below, kindly let me know who has been on the stream today, and we'll just be wrapping up shortly. So Godfred, any closing remarks that you would want to say about the future of money?
All right. So I think it's interesting. Technology in itself is interesting. So yeah, uh, I'm happy. I'm happy with the current state of affairs, at least in Ghana, for instance, and across Africa. Right. We within the past decade to two, we've we've been able to have a lot more people banked, right? We've been able to have a lot more people in the banking sector just by means of mobile money, okay? And that's just one side, right? Now, this thing grows exponentially. Where we have gotten to, there are a lot more software companies. Lots of people have seen the light, right? We will certainly get to a place where our money system becomes better, it becomes more secure, it becomes quicker to transact. Okay, we'll get there. As to how we are going to get there, we are not too sure. It's not going to be just one way, but certainly there's a lot of positive action in major parts of Africa, for instance, for us to believe that we are certainly moving, at least when it comes to other sections of the world, in other things like health sciences and other stuff. Probably we haven't gotten that far, but at least when it comes to money, we have come very far. We have come very far, and I'm positive that probably it could lead the way into development, okay, in Ghana and beyond, and in all these other places which have adopted digital currencies and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the future is exciting when it comes to, not to mention Vodafone, but I think the future is exciting when it comes to money, when it comes to business, when it comes to transactions, how we deal with money. Technology has done very well. There are a lot more coming up, a lot more solutions, a lot more. That means that lots more problems going our way. And then once we have these things out of the way, we now have the time on our hands to look at other things, which which are much more advanced than what we have now. So yeah, things are exciting. It to be great. To be a great time to be alive, to see how
Wow.
things turn out. Yeah.
Wow. Thanks so much, Godfred. I think it's been a really insightful show today, and I've learned so much. I'm sure everyone who watched it as well has learned a lot about the future of money, about cryptocurrency, about digital payments, and and all these things. And so, Godfred, thanks so much for joining today, and I guess I'll catch you
Thank
later.
you. All right. Thank you,
Yes.
Joe, for having me. Thank you, everyone,
All right.
for
Bye.
joining me. Bye.
All right. Okay. Yes. So, thanks everyone for joining. I can see Sweetie, Ferdinand, Ebon, Hans Peter. Who else? Esther, Emmanuel, Bruce Sam, and Frank Ribeiro, Samuel Adiko, Iliken. I hope I pronounced the name right. Yes, and Kofi Tramanting as well. Thanks for joining the stream today. So, if you are watching right now, make sure you head over to YouTube. Just search for my name, Joel Budu, and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you are subscribed to get notifications whenever I start the stream. So, I'm just waiting for you right now. Just go hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. Just hit the red button, subscribe, and you'll get notifications whenever I have a juicy video about technology, about AI, about science, about innovation. The next stream is going to be Wednesday. I stream every Wednesday at 7 p.m. GMT. You don't want to miss the next one. I have a list of people queued up or scheduled. I literally have people scheduled up until August, and trust me, each and every one of them is going to be a blockbuster. Really, really insightful conversations, and you don't want to miss any one of them. So make sure you follow as well to get updates on what I'm doing on the episodes that are coming up, and also get some replays, some clips, some highlights as well. So you can follow on Facebook, Tech Confab with Joe Budu. You can follow on Twitter as well, there's Tech Confab. You can also follow on Instagram, Tech Confab. And you can get updates wherever you dwell on the social media world. All right, thanks so much everyone for joining. Next week promises to be bigger and better than today and the rest. Yes, so it's been a great one today. Appreciate everyone joining the stream today. It's been about the future of work, and my guest for today was Godfred Afful. I was streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. I go by the name Joel Budu. I'm a senior software engineer at Carbon and also an artificial intelligence engineer. You can feel free to contact me on any of the channels I mentioned before, and I'll catch you guys next week. Bye.